Right now, moments before the first pitch, it's the traditional first ball throwing. And a switch on it tonight as we go to Game 7. The president of the Red Sox, Mrs. Jean Yawkey, the chairman of the board of the New York Mets, Nelson Doubleday, with Nelson throwing the ball to Rich Gedman and Mrs. Yawkey throwing the ball to Gary Carter. Now let's get to the lineup. For the Red Sox, no changes. Wade Boggs leading off at third and Marty Barrett at second base. Bill Buckner will be at first and Jim Rice in the cleanup spot in left. Dwight Evans in right field. He'll be followed by Rich Gedman behind the plate. Dave Henderson in center field. Rich Owen at shortstop, and the pitcher will be Bruce Hurt. Here's the way the Mets stack up defensively.
And there are some changes. Kevin Mitchell is in left field. Mookie Wilson is in center field. Strawberry is in right field, as you heard McNamara say. Dykstra and Backman are out of the lineup. The infield, Knight, Santana, Tuffle, Hernandez, Carter behind the plate, and Ron Darling on the mound.
Ron Darling, a 15-game winner during the year, is 1-1 in the World Series. He was 1-0 in the playoffs. And as you might remember in the series, he has not allowed an earned run to Boston in 14 consecutive innings. Wade Boggs, Marty Barrett, and Bill Buckner, and here we go. Ball one. John Kibler, Jim Evans, Harry Wendelstedt, Joe Brinkman working the lines, with Ed Montague and Dale Ford on the foul line. Right. One and one. Boggs backing out as an airplane flies overhead. We should have a lot of that tonight. The pattern, evidently, for the first time, will bring planes almost constantly directly over Shea. 1-1. Ball two. There is no breeze to speak of. The flag hanging limply in center field.
Remember, that's how Hernandez, he figures that the breeze when they're overhead blows to left field.
Now back, 2-2. So on a somewhat breathless night in New York, it's the final game of the year. 2-2 to Boggs. Ball three.
Darling doesn't have any trick pitches. It's a fastball, a curve. He does have that split finger fastball, but he does not throw it hard. He kind of uses it as an off-speed pitch.
So 3-2, the count to Wade Boggs. Line drive at Santana. So Wade Boggs hits it right on the button, but right at Santana. One down. And second baseman Marty Barrett coming up. Barrett is hit in all 6 with 4 RBIs. On deck, Bill Buckner. Ball one. Walt Reniak coaching at first. Rene Latchman around at third for Boston. In there. One of the things that has bothered the Red Sox considerably throughout the series, leaving men on base. It's interesting, they have left 63 men on. If they leave 9 more tonight, they will have tied a World Series record of 72 established by the Mets back in 1973.
What might be a factor, too, is Mookie Wilson in center field then plays very shallow as compared to Dykstra.
1-1. In there. They're yelling Marty. So the chants begin early tonight. The last game of the year, and they're determined to be heard. And that's hit in the air to shallow right field, but Strawberry is there. Two down in the first inning, and here is some areas a standing ovation, but you can understand the reasoning behind it. Two down, bases empty, first inning, no score. On deck, Jim Rice. Strike, outside corner. Now the chant is Billy, Billy. Breaking ball, ground foul, and the count 0-2.
Just on the strength of what we've seen, it seems like Carter and Darling have picked the fastball, the one that tails away, as the best pitch so far. He's really spotted it. That's the first breaking ball he's thrown.
0-2 to Buckner. Ball one. To join us late, Wade Boggs lined out to short. Marty Barrett flied to right as Bruce Hurst and Don Baylor look on. Fastball sliced down the left field line, and that one is going to land foul. Buckner halfway to second base. Will have a long walk back.
The infield was covered, but watching Buckner round first base, he kind of slipped. You can see he's got those high toppers on, but the infield was covered, and it appears to be in pretty good shape. But as he rounds it, he does a little bit of a slip here, right there.
So Buckner comes back. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. 2 out, first inning, no score. Rice on deck. The final baseball game of the year. And he took a lot off that pitch. And there's a hopper into right field. Base hit for Buckner. So a 2-out single to right by Bill Buckner will bring up Jim Rice.
Seemed to reach for it and just plugs the gap between first and second.
Interesting, too, looking at that, Buckner, as he was swinging, Hernandez started to go the other way. I think Keith was expecting the ball to be pulled between him and the bag as opposed to in the hole. And here is Rice. Guessing fastball, and the count 0-1. In the dirt, knocked down by Carter, and of course Buckner's not about to gamble on the base path.
And Carter did a good job of shifting. He's ready to move. Just the tip of the glove got it, and as long as you keep that ball in front of you, no one is going to move, especially Buckner.
So Buckner at first, held on by Hernandez. 2 out in the first inning, no score. 1-1. The count to Jim Rice with Dwight Evans on deck. Fouled away off first base, out of play. Came inside, hit him on the thumbs.
Rice is using that choked up grip that he's gone to just a bit, and when you ask him about it, there you see it. He says, I just want to drive the ball. I want to hit it hard. I'm quicker with the bat when I choke up a little bit.
Ron Darling pitching on 4 days rest because of rain. And Bruce Hurst because of the rain, starting over Dennis Oil Can Boyd.
Got that left hand wrapped, keeping it warm.
One ball, 2 strikes to Jim Rice. And that's line to right. Strawberry going to his left, backhands it. No runs, 1 hit, a man left at the end of half an inning. Sox nothing, Mets coming up. Dykstra and Backman sit down, so the Mets line up with Wilson, Tuffle, and Hernandez, Carter, Strawberry, and Knight, Mitchell, Santana, and Darling. And Bruce Hurst, a 13-game winner during the year, 3-0 in postseason games, a brilliant earned run average of 1.7. And a ground ball to the right side to Marty Barrett. 1 pitch, 1 away.
Take a look at the defense for the Red Sox. Rice, Henderson, and Evans in the outfield. It's the same as it's been. Boggs, Owen, Barrett, Buckner, Gedman behind the plate, and Bruce Hurst with that good curveball, that big overhand curveball. He changes speeds on it, a fork ball and a fastball, and he has been using them all.
Hurst has had trouble with the hitter coming up, Tim Tuffle. Tuffle is 4 for 7 against Hurst, including 2 singles, a double, and a home run. You might remember the home run went to right field in Fenway Park. Tim, whose era contributed heavily to the winning run scoring in Game 1. 4-1. Following Tuffle, Keith Hernandez. One and 0. Strike.
When he spots that pitch on that outside corner, he is just doubly tough because it just makes his other 2 pitches, the slow curveball and the forkball, more effective.
Fouled at the plate, and the count 1-2. I guess it figured we'd have a game like Saturday night when you realize that the Red Sox won 19 games in their last at-bats, including the playoff. The Mets had 39 come from behind, then they had 3 in the playoffs with Houston, and then Saturday night. This should go to the wire. 1-2. 2-2. And you could just as well change the name of the bottom of that sheet to Sox in Boston. Popped in the air on the right side, and it's Marty Barrett.
As a ball club, if you're the Red Sox, you're looking for a strong inning from your pitcher, much like Darling gave the Mets, and so far that's what Hurst has done.
And with 2 out, here is Keith Hernandez. Another interesting aspect to the game tonight, it is conceivable that the long man, the so-called long man in the bullpen tonight, would be Dwight Gooden for the Mets and Dennis Oil Can Boyd for the Red Sox.
And Roger Clemens said before the game, just talking to him, he showed me where he had the blister. He said, I can go if they need me.
Gooden looking on with Santana and Howard Johnson in the dugout. Ball 1 to Keith Hernandez. Hernandez, a member of the '82 Cardinal Club that was down 3 games to 2 and won it. And he's trying to repeat it. You can see him shaking his head as another plane flies overhead.
They really sound like they're low. I can see where your concentration would be broken.
One ball and no strikes. Breaking ball, strike, and the count 1-1. Bruce Hurst, if you throw out the last start he made, that was the game after the Red Sox had clinched, you get an indication of how well he's been pitching. That's line to center. Henderson will flag it, and the inning is over. Hurst has made 11 consecutive quality starts, and at the end of an inning, no score. The almost hypnotic stare of Jim Rice If he looks back, he thinks about the '75 World Series where he had a broken hand and failed to play. And of course, he's been looking ahead, trying to figure it out ever since Saturday morning. Talking to Tony Armas.
Just watching him, looked like he was talking about going the other way, an inside-out swing, and Armas seemed to be talking about the defense the Mets were using against Rice.
Remember, in the first inning, the Sox hit the ball pretty hard. Boggs went the other way and lined to Santana. Rice went the other way and lined to Strawberry. Buckner pulled for a base hit to right. Barrett flied to right. Here's Dwight Evans, Rich Gedman, and then Dave Henderson. Second inning, no score. Breaking ball up, ball one. Top of the second. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike. On that one, too, and the count 1-2 to Dwight Evans. Evans was saying that Saturday night's game ranked right up there with Game 6 of the World Series. Now, that really puts it in his spot. In 1975. In fact, Dwight was on deck when Carlton Fisk hit the home run, as he remembers. 1-2. Sinker missed.
It's pretty apparent very early that Darling's going to go with that sinker, that good hard fastball that he's throwing, because a couple times that Gary's put down the breaking ball, he just shakes it off.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Dwight Evans. Fouled at the plate.
That's the way it looks to the hitter, and there's the rotation.
Dwight just did get a piece of it, and the count stays 2-2. Fastball missed. So he goes all the way. High foul off first, slicing down the line. Hernandez on the tarp roller to get a look, and it's way back.
It's a great delight in this game, Vin. It's the 7th game of the World Series, so much riding on it. Yet as you look with our center field shot, you'll still see that the same signs used on the playground. 1 was the fastball, 2's the curve, and 3's the split finger.
3-2 to Dwight. Into deep left center field. That one might go all the way. It is gone. Home run, Dwight Evans.
It was a fastball, and Evans really jumped on it. He was a little bit out in front on that ball he fouled off, but this one with the swing, he timed it perfectly and drove it a long way.
Dwight Evans' 2nd home run of the series and his 7th run batted in, and it's the Red Sox who score first and lead 1-0. The batter will be the left-hand hitting catcher Rich Gedman after we take one more look. And of course, Evans, a great low ball hitter, and he got that ball down around the knees. Ball 1 to Gedman. Away, 1 ball, 1 strike. So Dwight Evans with a big home run to the back row of the bleachers in left center. Gedman fouls it away, and the count 1-2.
They've been making Gedman chase the bad ball, changing speeds on him. It'll be interesting to see what Carter and Darling do with this pitch. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's got that split finger. Maybe try to bounce one up and see what happens.
Gedman followed by Dave Henderson. And as you can see, things come tumbling down.
Well, they're portable stands, and obviously when the foul ball gets there, everybody leans, and there it goes. Fortunately, it doesn't appear anybody got hurt.
Time out for a moment while they restore that. So we can tell you that that home run by Dwight Evans is the 9th home run in this World Series. What makes it interesting, all in the road ballpark. The Red Sox have now hit 4 home runs in the series, and the Mets have hit 5. So as Tom Seaver sits quietly eating sunflower seeds, they prepare the wall in right field, and time is out. 1-0 Red Sox, top of the 2nd inning.
Talk about sunflower seeds. I thought it was kind of interesting. Only in the World Series coverage do you get it where they had psychologists try to figure out why ball players chew tobacco, chew gum, chew sunflower seeds. I can't understand why they chew tobacco. I wish they'd stop that. But the sunflower seeds, they had all kinds of reasons for that. But only in the World Series do they emphasize something like that.
Meanwhile, the walls come tumbling down, so timeout at Shea. You might wonder about that rainout that we had. Going back through the history books, in 1911, if you can imagine, between games 3 and 4 of the World Series, there was a 6-day rain delay. The 1911 World Series finished on October the 26th. Then, of course, in 1962, you might remember, in San Francisco, Game 6 was rained out 3 times. And 1975, Game 6 was rained out 3 times. And in going back through the history books, yet another footnote to Saturday night's game. Game 6 of the 1986 World Series will be listed as the greatest comeback game in World Series history. No team down by 2 runs scored 3 in its last at bat until Saturday night. Dwight Evans, you remember, against Jack Morris opening day in Detroit. This is the way his season began. What a way to start. You hit the first pitch of the season out for a home run. And now Dwight, opening up the 2nd inning for the Red Sox, hits another home run, and Boston leads 1-0. And he's accustomed to hitting them in another park. Okay, the wall has been secured, and here is Gedman with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that's a drive into right center field. Strawberry going back to the wall, at the wall, leaps in the air, one-hands it. No, he missed it. The right hand of Dale Ford started up and then circled to indicate home run. And Strawberry coming with an inch. It's gone, and the Sox lead 2-0.
We've seen a number of these plays. He gets a glove on it. His glove is over the fence. It looks like he's going to rob Gedman as he finds the fence of the home run. He gets above it. It hits the glove, and then his arm appears to hit the fence. Over it goes. He was looking for it and realizes he doesn't have it. We saw Henderson do that in the playoffs. We saw Dwight Evans do it, and now here's Strawberry.
So it is 2-0 Boston on back-to-back home runs by Dwight Evans and Rich Gedman. The batter is Dave Henderson, who takes ball 1. For Ron Darling, his string of consecutive scoreless innings ends shockingly after 15.
Strawberry really thought he had that, but
so did I.
He grabbed nothing.
Foul back. 2-1 to count. This was the non-catch of Dwight Evans in Boston. Got his glove on it, arm hits the wall, and out it goes. So we've seen that 3 times. Henderson, Evans, and now Strawberry. Two and 1. 3-1. So the Red Sox hit the ball hard in the first inning, and they hit 2 out in the second inning. And there's ball 4 to Henderson. Darling has now walked 10 men in the series, and Mel Stottlemyre going out to talk to him to see if he can find the solution. Spike Owen will be the batter. Nobody out.
Pretty apparent why Stottlemyre is going out there, just to settle him down, because back-to-back home runs, and hey, that'll get you to thinking, it'll get you to aiming, and all Stottlemyre wants to do is, hey, look, okay, so they got the 2 runs. Let's get settled down here and go back to work. You could see by the reaction on Gedman's home run that it was a bit of a shocker as far as Darling was concerned. Strawberry looked like he was going to make the play. He gets there. He knows exactly where the fence is. He gets above it, off his glove, and then he looks in his glove. He thought he had it. Oh, he says, but it's a home run.
Ron Darling gave up 21 home runs during the regular year, so he stung back-to-back. And now with Henderson on and nobody out, Spike Owen is the batter.
Knight cheating in at third base. And with Owen, they can certainly put a play on because he can handle that bat.
And for the historian, the last time, 1981, Guerrero and Yeager of Ron Guidry, Dodgers versus Yankees. Strike. Spike having a good series. As a quick look down at Rene Latchman. Henderson held on by Keith Hernandez. 2-0 Red Sox, top of the second inning.
Darling has a good, quick move. When he throws to first base with his good move, it is quick. He can pick you off.
No balls, 1 strike. That's in there. The scouts rate Darling as being quick to first, but pretty slow coming to the plate. Darling is considered a good fielder. 0-2 the count. Henderson with a walk at first. If anyone wondered with the fog here tonight and no wind whether the ball will carry, that question has been answered by Evans and Gedman. And that's a little pop fly to Santana. 1 out in the top of the second inning. 2-0 Boston, and Bruce Hurst coming up. Hurst, you remember, and he was very good-natured about it, in taking his at-bats here against Darling, struck out 3 times. In fact, the last time he came up in that game, there were a couple of runners aboard, and he said Gary Carter and the plate umpire were laughing, and Hurst said, hey, be serious up here. They laughed some more as he struck out a 3rd time. But the Mets now are not looking laughs, they're looking bunt. And there it is. And it's overrun by Knight, picked up and thrown by Darling for the out. Knight looked back at the turf as if it had done him wrong, and he can be happy that Darling backed him up.
He's charging so hard, it could have been a routine, easy play for him, and he elects to go one hand with it, and it takes a little bit of a bad bounce. Remember, earlier we talked about it. The ground crew did a great job in getting this field ready, but they really had to put a lot of topsoil, extra sod on it because of what they did when they clinched it. and Darling a good fielder as a pitcher, backing up the play, and they get their man at first.
If you're scoring, Knight did not touch the ball. It is basically a 1-4 sacrifice. And now here's Wade Boggs. Henderson at second. 2 runs in, 2-0 Boston. Boggs lined out to Santana in the first inning. Right.
If you were just looking at the defense, you would say they're not going to give Boggs anything slow to hit. They'll show it to him. Look how far over Hernandez is. They expect him to hit from center field to the left field line. It looks like they're going to try to make him hit that sinker.
0-1. Amazing tribute to Marty Barrett, the kind of a series he's having. Pitching carefully to Boggs with 2 out, and Marty Barrett on deck. One 1. Ball 2. Henderson, the way the infield is, the only man who might bird dog him at all is Tim Tuffle, and he's far away. So you can look at the infield dirt and you can see where Henderson is winding up. He is taking a lead of almost 45 feet before he stops. 2-2. Mark on the runway. You could just about measure it. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out to Boggs, 2 in.
This is his favorite count, and Darling's been throwing that sinker the outside part of the plate.
And as a hopper by the diving Santana, Mookie's going to come up throwing, but Henderson, because of that big lead, will score easily. And it is 3-0 Boston.
With 2 men out, he's able to get that big lead. And the scouting report, and talking to Frank Malzone and Sam Mealy, they're going to run on the Met outfielders. Santana tries to knock it down to keep it in the infield, but there was no way that Henderson was going to slow up. As soon as that ball gets to the outfield, the scouts told him take off.
It's still kind of amazing when you realize it. With a runner in scoring position at 2 out, they pitch to the major league's leading hitter, and he drives in the run.
He may have widened that zone a little bit as we watch Henderson score to knock in that run.
And here is Marty Barrett. Right. Barrett flied to right in the first inning. 3-0 Boston on 2 home runs, a walk, sacrifice, and since they pitched to Boggs, he singles it in. And Barrett bunts up along third. It's staying on the grass. Base hit.
Once it grabbed that grass, it was going to stay there. It looked like for a minute it was going to get to the dirt part. Had it gotten there, it would have rolled foul. There's no way that would stay fair once it hits the dirt. But when it grabs that grass, now right about there, looked like it was going to go foul. But once it hit the grass, it's almost like little fingers, like octopus grass. He just held it. And Marty Barrett, say what you want. There he goes again. He's in the middle of it for the big guys.
And left-hander Sid Fernandez loosening up. 2 on, 2 out. And Bill Buckner becomes the 8th man to come to the plate in the second inning. Buckner singled to right in the first inning. So Darling, on 4 days rest, has been hit hard, plus the bunt single. Remember, 2 of the outs in the first inning. Boggs lined hard at Santana, and Rice lined deep to Strawberry. One and 0. And that's going to be hit to left center, but Mookie on his horse and flags it down. However, the Red Sox get 3 and lead 2. And at the end of an inning and a half, the Red Sox 3 and the Mets nothing. The importance of this play, if Strawberry had held onto the ball, the Red Sox would have scored 1 and not 3.
This ball is out of the strike zone. If Boggs hits, he really widens the zone. And watch, Mookie is in shallow, but it's what Malzone and Mealy were talking about, run on Mookie. But you can see Henderson was only about 2 steps past third base, so the scouting report really helped score that run.
3-0 Boston. Gary Carter to start it off, and he bunts. Down to get it is Hurst. Full turn, and the throw got him.
And that's the best fastball Hurst has thrown in 3 games. He really reared back and pumped that one because the bunt was a good one. And with Boggs back, Mets are trailing by 3. You expect Carter to really take a big cut. He catches everybody except Hurst by surprise, and does this big guy crank a fastball. Look at that.
So Carter nipped it first on the bunt, 1 away, and Darryl Strawberry the batter. Ball 1.
And Vin, with that pitch, Hurst has only made 11 pitches, and he's got 4 outs.
1 ball and no strikes. High fly ball into shallow left. Jim Rice has plenty of time to get there. Darryl Strawberry now 0 for his last 10 here, dating back to game 3 of the playoffs with Houston. 2 down, and Ray Knight the batter. Boston 3, Mets nothing in the second. 2 down, bases empty. On deck, Kevin Mitchell. Knight, who scored the winning run in that somewhat bizarre game Saturday night. Strike. Bruce Hurst came into this game with a World Series ERA of 1. One ball, 1 strike. One and 1 to Ray. Ball 2. Fastball and a 1-hopper into center. Base hit for Knight. So Ray bangs one up the middle with 2 down, and Kevin Mitchell coming up.
Here's a pitch that Ray Knight hits. It looked like a fastball. It was a fastball. Got a 3-run lead. Hurst, he wants to stay away from the base on balls. He challenged Knight, and he lost.
Kevin Mitchell with Rafael Santana on deck. Bruce Hurst is trying to win his 3rd game of the World Series, and that doesn't happen very often. It has happened 12 times in history, but only 4 times since 1920. Harry Brackeen, Lou Burdette, Bob Gibson, Mickey Lolich. Dropped in there. Strike. 3 runs, 5 hits for John McNamara's band. No runs, 1 hit for the Mets. Check swing and a roller wide of first to Buckner. He will do it himself. So the Mets, no runs, a hit. They leave 1. It's 3-0 Boston at the end of 2. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Tonight's game is brought to you by Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time, and by New York Life, to help you get the most out of your life. The Red Sox got the most out of the second inning to enjoy a 3-0 lead. Jim Rice, Dwight Evans, and Rich Gedman coming up now against Ron Darling. And the curveball is whacked to left. Going back on the ball is Mitchell, and it short hops the wall. Rice for 2. The throw in. They got him.
Mitchell knows the ball's over his head. He plays the carom just perfectly, and keeping with the motif of running on the outfielders, Mitchell uncorks a strong throw, and Tuffle makes the tag on Rice. Look at Wendelstedt on both knees making that call. You talk about being in position.
So a base hit to left at the base of the left field wall. 7-4 of you scoring from Kevin Mitchell to Tim Tuffle.
That was your classic hanging curveball.
Boy,
it just hung up there.
Breaking ball up. Dwight Evans, the batter. And it is apparent in the early going from the moment that Wade Boggs opened the game with the line drive at Santana that it is a shaky start for Ron Darling, although there is no one throwing in the bullpen.
He's only had one pitch going for him so far. It's been that hard sinker, and he's really had to spot it because when he got to Evans, he was sitting on it and boomed it.
There's a breaking ball lifted to straightaway, shallow center. Mookie Wilson there. 2 down.
Now coming to the plate.
That'll bring up Rich Gedman, who hit the home run in and out of Darryl Strawberry's glove in the second inning and turned it from a 1-run inning to a 3-run inning. And you might remember throughout the series we told you how Darling and Gedman battled each other in high school, and finally Gedman has hit one. Strike. On deck, Dave Henderson.
Never seen so many players with that stubble like we got now. Hernandez didn't shave. Gedman hasn't shaved.
It's the Sampson theory, I guess. Ground ball back of first. Keith will bring it to the bag. So thanks to the strong and accurate throw of Kevin Mitchell, the Sox are gone in order. And at the end of 2.5, 3-0 Boston. We're going to the bottom of the third inning at Shea Stadium in New York. The Red Sox 3, the Mets 0. Rafael Santana will start it off. Then Ron Darling and Mookie Wilson. And of course all that went down like broken glass in the second inning. Ball 1. During the regular season, the Mets gave left-handers a bad time, but not in the World Series against Bruce Hurst. Ball 2. In the regular season, they beat left-handers 27 times and lost to them only 11. It's better than 700 ball. In there. 2-1. So Hurst trying for his place in the history books, and the Mets trying to come back. Fouled off. 2-2.
See how nice he was. He asked Gedman, "Are you all right?" He got a foul tip. If that ball would have laid in front of home plate, they would have checked the ball, but the pitcher's worried about the catcher.
2-2. Fouled away. Of course, he hit a home run.
That's when they're really nice to you.
3 runs, 6 hits for Boston. No runs, 1 hit for the Mets. A 2-out single by Ray Knight. After that pitch, and down he goes. So Santana becomes strikeout number 1 for Bruce Hurst.
Looked like a breaking ball. It was not that big overhand curveball that he throws. It could have been that fork ball that broke down off speed. When he throws that slow, big breaking curveball, he really gets those hitters out in front.
There is Ron Darling. And he drives one to right and deep. Evans was shallow. He's on the track to make the catch. And Darling, who is considered a pretty good hitting pitcher, takes Hurst a long way. 2 down. Now Mookie Wilson will use up a little time to let Darling get back to the dugout. Mookie grounded out. First ball swinging. He rolled it to Marty Barrett. leading off the first inning.
Any way to kill time. Ask the umpire how your family's doing. Anything.
And Buckner had made a trip to the mound. Tim Tuffle on deck. A little high with a fastball. Ball one. Two and oh. Well, what a long year. The Mets won 115 games along the way. The Sox 102, and it has come down to tonight. Fouled off. 2-1. Fastball hit to right. Evans going back. Full turn. Makes the play. So Mookie takes him deep, but they're gone in order are the Mets, and at the end of 3, Red Sox 3, Mets nothing. You don't really have to be a crowd psychologist to realize the spirit of the crowd that was at fever pitch when they were chanting when Marty Barrett was hitting that sing-song is gone. Now they're sitting quietly as the Sox took that 3-0 lead in the second inning. If you are a statistician, it might be interesting to note the crowd perhaps has the same feeling as you have. During the regular year, the Mets won 80% of the games that they scored first in, and they're 3-0 in games in which they scored first in postseason. But it's the Sox on top 3-0, and here's Dave Henderson. He walked and came around to score in the second inning. Then Owen and Hurst. And hit him. So Henderson trots to first with nobody out. Owen coming up.
And by comparison, as far as the number of pitches, as we watch Henderson get drilled, Darling has made 57 pitches. He had 55 after 3 innings. Hurst in 3 innings, 29 pitches.
So Darling, a shaky early going and a strong performance by Bruce Hurst. And you have Owen, Hurst, and Boggs coming up. Sid Fernandez is up for the second time in the Mets bullpen, although Darling did have his at-bat in the third inning. So it is Fernandez they look to in the early going, and not Dwight Gooden. Spike Owen popped to short in the second inning. Little pop fly to Rafael Santana.
Knight is really looking for bunt in tight at third.
And instead he hits it right at Strawberry. One away. Henderson holding, and Bruce Hurst, who sacrificed in the second inning, no doubt has to do it again here in the fourth.
And the third baseman Knight and first baseman Hernandez setting up the defense. As we saw the last time, Knight really charged hard. The ball got by him, and Hernandez, who as always he sets up whether he's going to come charging in or come in a couple steps and go back on a particular pitch. He'll be 2-3 pitches into the hitter Hurst, but Knight is already in about 5 steps. It's going to be a tough job for Hurst to get him over.
And if Hurst does get him over, once again Davy Johnson will have to wonder about even pitching at all to Boggs. Never mind, don't give him anything good to hit. He hit a ball off his ankles for a base hit and an RBI. There's the bunt, and Knight has to go to first. Now let's see what they do with Boggs.
And it can't be that situation that so many times you hear when you go out on a conference on the mound is don't give him any ball to hit.
Davy Johnson on his way, and he's making a hook right now. So Sid Fernandez is going to be called in from the Mets bullpen, and Ron Darling has had it. So they pitched to Boggs in the second inning, and he burned them. He will not be burned again, and Darling is gone. 3-0 Boston. Ron Darling went 3 2/3 innings, gave up 6 hits, a walk, and a hit batter. And of course, the runner at second base, Dave Henderson, is also his responsibility. Sid Fernandez will be coming in, making his 3rd appearance of the World Series. He's worked 4 1/3 innings, an earned run average of 2. It is a calculated gamble, sending Fernandez head-to-head with the leadoff man Wade Boggs. Sid has an above-average fastball. He is considered, however, a poor fielder. Wade Boggs against Darling, lined out to short, and then when they pitched to him, even though Darling threw a ball that was somewhere between the ankles and the knees, Boggs went right down after it and singled to center for an RBI.
And it's no great secret that Boggs really waits a long time before he turns that bat loose. And if you think he does that against right-handed pitching, it's a little bit more, it seems like, against left-hand pitching. He usually takes him to the opposite field, and they'll set the defense up accordingly.
So Sid Fernandez, who pitched very, very well, impressively, in fact, in relief of Dwight Gooden. That was in the Hearst game at Fenway Park. Now going head-to-head with Wade Boggs. Ball 1. Again, we are watching Henderson. He had such a big lead in the second inning. He was almost halfway to third as the pitcher was delivering the ball, and yet he knows he can get back to the bag. You see him run right out of your picture.
And once again, Mookie in center field is far more shallow than Dykstra would be as we look at Henderson. Look how shallow he is in left center field. And they'll take off on the base hit.
2-0. Fouled off. 2-1. Boston 3, Mets nothing. 2 out, top of the 4th inning.
Tell you, when you stack your defense like that, you better pitch that he hits that way. If he gives him anything slow, he'll pull it. Hernandez is way over.
Remember, the base hit was to the left of Santana. In there. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out to Wade Boggs. Henderson at second. Spun the curveball. 3-2.
He made sure that thing wasn't close, though.
And this time in under the hands to put him on. So Boggs walks, and that'll bring up Marty Barrett. And for Davey Johnson, he opted to pitch to Boggs. It cost him a run in the second. Then he made the move to take Darling out and bring in Fernandez, and he still lost Boggs on the walk. Barrett flied to right and had the bunt single in the second inning. Marty is 1 for 2. Ray Knight very deep at third. He is not looking for Barrett to do it again. Not with 2 on and 2 out. Right.
They just moved Mitchell over. Mitchell was playing Barrett as if to pull, and Mookie Wilson, as you can see, the defense is way over in right center field. A lot of room in left center field. They're stacking it on the right side. They expect him to hit that way. And it'll be up to Fernandez to keep that ball in that outside part of the plate.
0-1. Henderson can't take the lead with Barrett up there, but he was able to take with Boggs, because now Santana is almost behind him. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We really haven't seen a lot of bird dogging by the infielders, though. A lot of ball clubs, many times, you just bird dog the guy back, not so much to pick him off, but to cut his lead down, to maybe you get a play at the plate on the base hit.
1-1. Off speed for a strike. A lot of motion, and then the soap bubble, and the count 1-2.
And laid it right on the outside corner.
At First base, Wade Boggs. Dave Henderson at second. 2 out. Two and two. Red Sox left a runner in the first inning and 2 more in the second. Hernandez trying to get him off the hook here in the fourth. Curveball hit to Strawberry. So the Sox lead 2. They have left 5. And at the end of 3.5 innings, the Red Sox 3, the Mets nothing. 3-0 Boston, bottom of the 4th. And the Mets trying to get something started with Tim Tuffle, Keith Hernandez, and Gary Carter. They have just 1 hit, a single to center by Ray Knight, and that came with 2 out in the second inning. Of course, if you remember Saturday night in that wild game, the Mets were no-hitted for the first 4 innings. Tuffle popped up to the right side to Marty Barrett in his first at-bat. One ball, one strike.
That's the first big curveball that he's thrown, where he really rainbows it up there.
And followed by the fastball for a strike. 1 and 2. And another fastball, and the count remains 1 and 2. He joined us late in the second inning. The Red Sox had back-to-back home runs by Dwight Evans and Rich Gedman. Gedman's ball in and out of Strawberry's glove. Henderson walked, and a 2-out single by Boggs made it 3-0. And a big overhand pitch takes care of him. For Hurst, his second strikeout.
He's got 3 pitches, and he's not afraid to go to any of them. He just changed speeds on the breaking ball. He's way out in front.
A 1 down in the 4th. Keith Hernandez, the batter, hit the ball hard, but at Dave Henderson in the first inning. On deck, Gary Carter. One ball and no strikes. Outfield about as straight away as you can play a hitter. In there at the knees. 1-1.
Seems like Hernandez has made up his mind to hit up the middle. In Saturday's game, fly ball to center field, single to center, fly ball to center field. His first time up, a line drive. He tomahawked it to center field. Appears that when you do that, you're just hanging in there a little bit longer.
1-1. And the curveball is hit to right center. Evans is digging to make the catch. The Dwight Evans has made 3 of the last 4 putouts.
That was a slow curveball, and you can see Hernandez really wait for the break and then jump all over it and hit it hard, but Evans was there to make the play.
Here's Gary Carter, who led off the second inning and tried to bunt his way aboard.
Watch the curveball, and he just hits it very hard, but Evans been very busy. Really almost made it a routine play.
Ball 1 to Gary Carter. And he was looking fastball, and he was a little bit out in front of it. 1-1. 3-0 Boston. 4th inning, 2 out, bases empty.
Started to say, man, you can almost scout Carter by watching television. Outside part of the plate, changing speeds, just keeping it out there from the middle of the plate over.
1-1. And he hits that pitch over to Marty Barrett. And so Carter's gone, the Mets are gone, and that's 7 in a row retired by Bruce Hurst. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Gedman is the 4th man in the inning, but here's what Fernandez did against Gedman in Boston. When they talk about climbing the ladder with a fastball, watch this. That was about letter high. Now here's the 2nd strike, a little bit higher. Now you got him set up. Here's the 3rd one. He just climbed it perfectly.
Well, we'll see when Rich comes up. He's due to bat 4th in the inning. Just first how Fernandez pitches him again and whether Gedman has learned anything. Bill Buckner single to right and lined out to center. 1 for 2. Right. 3-0 Boston. Top of the 5th inning. Buckner, Rice, and Evans. High fly ball to right field. Strawberry is there, looking up into that soup. 1 away.
As you watch Fernandez pitch, you got to know that his motion is a big part of his effectiveness. It seems like he falls forward after he releases the ball, but that really isn't the case.
When he pitched in the Dodger organization and briefly with the Dodgers, he curled up so much on the mound it really looked like he was throwing uphill. And the first thing Mel Stottlemyre did was make him stand a little more erect. Oh boy, you talk about a first ball fastball hitter being challenged. That was reduced to the fundamentals. Hit it.
He had it in a pretty good spot.
He struck Rice out in 1 inning of work of this year's All-Star game, and he has him 0-2.
I wonder if he'll do what he did with Gedman. That was about letter high, if he's going to climb that ladder with him.
0-2 to Jim. Got him. He just blew him away. That is the first Sox player to strike out, Jim Rice. And with 2 down, bases empty, the batter is Dwight Evans. It is 3-0 Boston, but when you look back at that 2nd inning, if Strawberry had held onto the ball, it would be 1-0 Boston. Darrell unable to make the great catch. And the Sox turned it into a 3-run inning. Off speed for a strike. Evans home run in the 2nd inning, fly to center in the 3rd. Spinner in there for a strike. 0-2.
He changed speeds on both pitches, the straight change, and then he took something off the curveball after just throwing nothing but fastballs at Jim Rice.
0-2. Got him. And that brings the crowd to its feet, and we'll see if a Mets pitcher can wake up the Mets hitters. 3-0 Boston. Because of its importance, here's another look at the great effort by Strawberry. He's gloved it, and it's popped out, and he looks in his mitt to find out it wasn't there. It would have taken a great play, and he came as close as you can come to making it. And now he leads it on. So Fernandez has awakened the crowd by striking out Rice and Evans. We'll see now as Strawberry leads off. Right. Strawberry flied to left in the 2nd inning. 0-1 to Darrell.
And you can see that Hurst is giving it just a little bit extra. He wants to strike out here because he knows that that'll just stop a lot of things with a strikeout.
0-2. The most successful Mets hitter against left-handers is on deck, Ray Knight. You remember Saturday night, Strawberry had 2 big walks. High fly ball into right center, but Henderson says he has it, and he's true to his word. Long out, 1 away. The dimensions here, 338 down the lines to 358, 371, and then 396, and that was the neighborhood where Strawberry just hit it. 410 to straightaway center. But it's a graveyard out there, especially without any wind. But we saw both Evans and Gedman hit him out tonight in the 2nd inning. Ray Knight singled for the Mets' only hit. Whether it's indicative of anything, it should be pointed out, the Mets have had some long drives by Darling, Wilson, Hernandez, and now Strawberry. 1 ball, no strike. In there. Kevin Mitchell on deck. One and one. Hit off the end of the stick foul, and the count 1-2.
Well, as you can see, the football giants against the Redskins, same score as we got here, 3-0, just starting the 2nd quarter.
Think Washington has any hits?
I don't know.
At least one.
Well, they have one.
1-2 to Ray Knight. Fastball, 2-2. We're in the 5th. 3-0 Boston. 1 out, bases empty. Hurst has retired 8 in a row. Bouncer over the mound, charging Spike Owen. Gets him. It's 9 in a row, and it'll bring up Mitchell. Mitchell grounded to Buckner in the 2nd inning. Fouled off. 0-1. Those who were there at the moment said in that wild madcap scene in the Mets dressing room following Saturday night's game, the one player who was completely calm was Kevin Mitchell. 1-1. It was Kevin who scored the run on the wild pitch. Ground foul to Buddy Harrelson, and the count 1-2. Waiting his turn on deck, Rafael Santana. Fastball fouled off to the right, out of play. Still 1-2.
Hurst is really spotting the ball well, in and out, up and down. Great control of it, of the location of the pitch. When you talk to a scout about that, they say, well, he's got good control of the strike zone.
Foul back. Bruce Hurst leading 3-0 in the 5th. Got him. And so whatever momentum built up in the top of the 5th when Rice and Evans struck out has been dampened considerably. Tonight's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by the makers of Prestone 2 Antifreeze. Don't push your luck, change it with fresh Prestone.
Gedman leads off, and remember we showed you our game within a game. The last time Fernandez pitched against him, it was high fastball. Started him about the letters and just kept climbing that ladder. Let's see what he does this time.
And remember too that Gedman has the reputation of being a high ball hitter.
Identical. Right at the letters. See if he comes back a little bit higher.
No balls, 1 strike. Ron Darling went 3 2/3 innings, charged with 3 runs, 6 hits. 0-2.
So far it looks like an instant replay.
Got him. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts for Sid Fernandez. Jim Rice and Dwight Evans in the 5th. Gedman to open up the 6th.
He didn't quite climb the ladder, but he stayed with his fastball, sidearmed. He made Gedman give a little bit, a tough pitch to hit, and he got the big strikeout.
Here's Dave Henderson, walked and hit by a pitch. Looking ahead, Sid Fernandez is due to be the 2nd batter in the bottom of the 6th inning, but there is no one throwing in the Mets bullpen. Santana, Fernandez, and then Wilson are due up in the bottom of the 6th. 1 ball, no strikes.
He's got to be tough to pick up. He's one of those pitchers, I'm sure, when they go back to the bench and say, hey, he's quicker than he looks. That ball's in on you before you know it.
1-1. Hendu walked and scored in the 2nd inning. Ball 2. Fernandez, remember, was 4th in the National League in strikeouts. He was tied with Dwight Gooden. High fly ball into shallow left center. Mookie says he'll have it. 2 down.
And now the shortstop, Spike Owen.
Here's what Fernandez looks like with that motion. You can see him really bearing down on the target. Looks away a little bit, and then he really takes a big stride and comes down. Looks like he releases the ball and then finishes, which has to be deceptive. It's a tricky motion.
He can be a remarkable pitcher. His high 14 strikeouts in a game. He has retired 6 in a row. A foul, out of play.
And Vinny, he's not trying to do it with trick pitches. He's just rearing back and firing.
0-1 to count to Spike Owen, who popped to short and flied to right. 2 out in the 6th. Boston 3, New York nothing. One and 1. Bruce Hurst out on deck. Back 1 and 2.
It has to be habit, but Carter checks everybody that comes up. I doubt if Spike Owen would be trying to sneak a peek.
Crowd making the kind of noise it normally makes for Dwight Gooden. They want another strikeout. Off-speed curveball, got him looking. 4 strikeouts and 7 in a row.
We talked about Hurst and his ability to control that strike zone, the location. Watch what he does to Mitchell when he strikes him out. Just pay attention to where the pitches are. This is a fastball. He fouls it off. Fastball, low, fouls it off. Breaking ball in the same spot, strikes him out. It looked like the fastball. Last minute she darts in, and although he had a good cut, didn't come close to hitting it.
If you wonder about the Mets in the bottom of the 6th inning, they are going for the pinch hitter. Lee Mazzilli is on deck to bat for Sid Fernandez. And Roger McDowell is in the bullpen. Strike one to Rafael Santana. Of course, it was Mazzilli who appeared as the pinch hitter in the 8th inning Saturday night and scored a run that tied up the game. 1-1. Santana struck out in the 3rd inning, and there's Roger McDowell along with Vern Hochheit. Fastball, and it's hit up the middle behind the bag, and here comes Spike Owen to get him.
It looked like the ball was going to get through. Here it is from the center field camera. It's over the head of Hurst. And range is what makes this play on. Finishes up on the second base side and gets his man easily.
Buckner again coming to the mound now with Mazzilli up there. Hurst, by the way, is on a roll now. He has retired 11 in a row. The only time he has had to work out of his stretch was with 2 out in the 2nd inning, and Ray Knight had gotten a base hit. Ball 1. So Sid Fernandez worked 2 1/3 innings, and he gave the ball club a big lift from the mound by striking out 4 and retiring 7 in a row. And now Mazzilli batting for him. 1-0. Mookie Wilson on deck. Ball 2.
And Mazzilli, by faking the bunt, it looked like he was going to try to push it past the pitcher. At least drew Marty Baird in a couple steps at second base.
Strike. 2-1 to Lee. And it's hit over Buckner's head, foul down the line, and the count 2-2. Once again, we remind our viewers we'll be selecting the NBC Miller Lite Player of the Game at the conclusion of this ball game. And that brings up another interesting note. Thinking that Saturday night would be the conclusion of the series, Bruce Hurst was already named the World Series most valuable player. However, the Mets pulled off the miracle. Because of the rain, Hurst got another chance to pitch. And now he's really working for the award, just as they're working on that right field fence. 2-2. 1 out, 6th inning, 3-0 Boston. And it's hit to the hole. Base hit for Mazzilli. Mazzilli is trying to do tonight what he did successfully Saturday night as a pinch hitter and ignite his ball club. And Mookie Wilson, the batter.
Looked like a breaking ball. He was just trying to get a piece of it, and Mazzilli put it between the shortstop and third baseman, and he's on.
And John McNamara knows that Hurst has only allowed 2 hits, so he's not showing any concern. Wilson has gone the other way twice, grounded to Barrett and flied to right. They are not holding Mazzilli. Buckner is back of him, and now he has to run in front, consequently the collision. Now
you see Buckner sneaking behind him, and Mazzilli just kind of bumps him. Not a bad play.
Line drive into left field, base hit. And the Mets are alive with 1 out in the 6th, and Tim Teufel coming up. Mazzilli at second, Wilson at first. One out in the sixth. Steve Crawford in the bullpen. 3-0 Boston. Tuffle has popped up to Barrett and struck out. Ball one. On deck, Keith Hernandez. After retiring 11 in a row, Hurst gives up a single to pinch hitter Mazzilli and then to Mookie Wilson. Ball two, a throw to first. He's in there. And barely. And Mookie might be a little hurt. His right arm. I think Buckner's knee got him as he was reaching for the bag. And evidently he's okay.
Gedman and Albie there play. He sidearms it, and Mookie just does get there. There you see the knee getting that right arm as Buckner was trying to block the base.
2 balls and no strikes to Tim Tuffle. Two and one.
Took something off the pitch, way out in front.
Wilson at first, Mazzilli at second, 1 out. Hernandez on deck.
Somebody come in and just ask him how everything is.
Johnny Mac.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it.
It's time for the boss to make the visit. Keith Hernandez has lined out to center and flied deep to right. He'll be the hitter. And Steve Crawford waiting in the bullpen. Bases are loaded, and I think they were talking about whether Hurst should pitch out of a stretch.
That's what he said, out of the stretch, all right. And they were just going over if the balls hit back to him to go to Gedman, but he was asking if it was right to pitch off the stretch.
So here is Keith Hernandez. Bases loaded, 1 out in the sixth. 3-0 Boston. Mazzilli at third, Wilson at second, Tuffle at first. 1 out. Deck, Gary Carter. And Hurst will pitch from the stretch. Time. Big overhand slow curveball.
Oh, what a pitch that was. Everybody expecting strength against strength, and he pulled the string on that one.
On 1. Outfield straight away. Fastball hitting to left center field. Base hit. In comes Mazzilli. In comes Wilson. Stopping at third is Tuffle. 3-2 Boston. We're going to have a runner for Tim Tuffle. It's Wally Backman at third. So there's Wally Backman running for Tuffle. Hernandez at first, and Gary Carter with the tying run 90 feet away. Hit in the air to right field. Here comes Evans. It's gonna be caught. No, he didn't hold it. The run is in. However, Hernandez is tagged out by Spike Owen. Evans making a diving, smothering attempt, and we had to wait till Dale Ford indicated catch, and then no catch, and that's why Hernandez is hollering, "Why didn't you call it?"
It looked like he had it. It was a delayed call. He had it in the glove. You see it pop out. And as he turns, he sees that Hernandez is still at first base, and Keith really upset. And now Kibler explaining to him that he called it as soon as he can, but Hernandez is not buying it.
But he gets the hero greeting for driving into 2 runs and setting up the tying run to score. It is 3-3 in this madhouse called Shea, and the batter is Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry 0 for 2, line to left and fly deep to right center. Carter on a fielder's choice if you're scoring from Evans to Owen. 9-6.
You can see Carter saying, "Go on," the ball's on the ground, but it's too late.
Slicing fly ball to left. Rice coming up and makes the catch. Holding on to the slicer at the last second. But the Mets get 3 hits and 3 runs. And at the end of 6, a 3-3 tie. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Backman, who scored the tying run, a good piece of base running. You see him tagging up as soon as Evans leaves his feet. Backman's going in, so Evans' only play really is to second base. Barrett helping direct the play. Owen is there to make the tag, and Hernandez really upset because of the late call.
And if you would like to know about lightning striking twice, Keith Hernandez had a 2-run single in Game 7 in the 1982 World Series to tie the game 3-3. Tonight, he drove in 2 and set up the tying run. Tony Armas is coming up to bat for Bruce Hurst against the sinker baller Roger McDowell, and Roger will now be in 5 of the 7 games. He has no decision, an earned run average of 2.8. So Tony Armas. goes Hurst. John McNamara hoping that Armas can do what Mazzilli did and light a fire leading off.
Then I just got word they put up the score at the Meadowlands where the Giants and Redskins are playing, and when they put up 3-3, the entire crowd started screaming, "Let's go Mets." I wonder what the football players were thinking.
Bruce Hurst, number 20,
Tony Armas missed 31 games during the year with ankle and thigh injuries. But of course, you remember he injured himself in Anaheim, and it actually helped the Red Sox win the pennant because Dave Henderson took over and performed some magic. And that got a little bit of John Kibler. Took a bite out of him. 0-1. The plate umpire, okay, but that hammered him.
They really are playing Armas to pull. Knight is guarding the line, or Santana's in the hole, and Mitchell is towards the line in left field. There you see it. They really expect to hit that ground ball. Look at Knight.
When you look at Tony Armas, 2 years ago he led the majors in RBIs. This year he was 8th on the Red Sox. Big chopper, foul ball. Well, they didn't think they could regroup and come up with another dandy after Saturday night, but there is Calvin Schiraldi, and we're 3-3 in the 7th inning. Armas followed by Boggs and then Barrett. Sinker got him.
McDowell just rears back and throws his best pitch, which is the sinker. It starts at about the knees, tough to lay off, and when you try to chase it, it's out of the strike zone. But with 2 strikes, Armas was trying to get a piece of it.
Where's Boggs, who lined to short, hit one about at the ankles for a line drive base hit and a run batted in. Last time up, walk. Right. 3 runs, 6 hits for Boston. 3 runs, 4 hits for New York. Strike. Little chopper to third. Knight waits for the hop. Guns in the dirt. Dug out by Hernandez.
Knight has to wait for the big hop. He throws it low, but watch Hernandez. Not only is he digging out, he's in front of that ball. It was not going to get by him. That's a short hop, a tough play. A classic picture. If he misses it, it hits him in the leg. And now he says to the umpire, "I caught it."
Here's Marty Barrett. Flied to right, bunted for a hit, flied to right again. A chopper over the mound. Here comes Santana. Got it. At the end of 6 1/2, all even at 3. With the crowd screaming, "Take me out to the ball game," a brief moment in the Mets dugout. Hernandez and Carter, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. 3-3. Oh, is it wild here? Oh.
That's the way it should be. 2 clubs battle down the line. It's the 7th game of the World Series, going into the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings. The 9 toughest outs in baseball, and everybody up on their feet.
Calvin Schiraldi, the former Met, coming in to try and stifle the Mets. Bottom of the 7th inning. On deck, among others, as you see, Orozco. Knight will lead off, but Mitchell is going to give way to Lenny Dykstra. So it's going to be Knight, Dykstra, and Santana. And remember, Backman is in the game, having run for Tuffle. Ray Knight singled and grounded out. He is 1 for 2. You know, we have seen Calvin Schiraldi in so many pressure-packed moments in the League Championship Series with the Angels and in the Red Sox. You might forget his first ever Major League save was in August. I mean, he's just starting. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck, Len Dykstra. Ball 2, and the chant, Calvin, Calvin. This one is gone. It is 4-3 New York in the 7th, and Len Dykstra the batter for Kevin Mitchell. The first home run at home hit in this World Series by the home team.
And you hear so much about concentration. Ray Knight was quoted saying he was once told that concentration is the ability to think about nothing. So he certainly was up there loose and really ripped a high fastball.
Ball 3, and Sambito and Stanley are throwing in the Red Sox bullpen. Strike. Boy, I tell you, the last 2 will kill you.
Dykstra really tried to get down lower than normal to try to get that base on balls.
3-1. Line drive, base hit to right field. Here's another look of Ray Knight's home run launched over the wall in left center.
It looked like it was a belt-high fastball. And Schiraldi, the minute it was touched off, knew it, and there's his reaction. And watch Knight coming around. And what a welcoming party he had.
It is so noisy at Shea, you can't hear the airplanes. You think you're out in the country. And Bill Fisher is out to the mound.
And I tell you, with all this and Dykstra on at first base, don't be surprised if he takes off on the very first pitch to keep it going.
By the way, as Johnny McNamara looks at the lineup cards, when the Red Sox come up in the 8th inning, they will have Bill Buckner, Jim Rice, and Dwight Evans. Rafael Santana the batter, and he'll be fouled by Roger McDowell. And Boggs looking bunt on the grass.
I think I'd pitch out just to stop everything, but you have to worry about Schiraldi's control.
Ball one.
They must have heard this crowd at the Meadowlands, Vin. They tell me when they put the score up there, the noise was so great that the players, they had to stop the play.
I can believe that. 1 ball and no strikes. Dykstra at first. The Mets are 2 for 2 with pinch hits by Mazzilli and Dykstra in the 6th and now 7th inning. A better throw might have gotten him. He was far off the bag.
Oh, he wants to go. He wants to keep it going. The merry-go-round is on full speed, and he wants to make it go faster.
Santana has not been called upon to bunt with the pitcher following very often. He has only 1 sacrifice. And again, Dykstra taking liberties. That's about as big a lead as the law allows. He's right about at the beginning of the straight line as far as the grass. It's cut at an angle to give the first baseman more dirt, but right at the start of where it's a straight line, right about there is where he is. That's a long way out there. 1 ball, no strikes. Dykstra not going on a pitch out, and it's a wild pitch. Dykstra to second base. Gedman gets out there, but I mean, he is way off the target with the pitch out. It's a play you practice, and there is Bruce Hurst looking on. And now Gedman going out to talk to his pitcher. He's going to have to settle him down because, I mean, the wheels have come off. And, of course, John McNamara can think of the hit batter involving Brian Downing. The wild pitch Saturday night. The wild pitch tonight. 2-0 to Rafael Santana. Dykstra at second and nobody out. Punched inside first and down the line. Dykstra will score on a single by Santana. It's a manufactured run to the extent that Santana was going to at least get the ground ball to the right side. Schiraldi jammed him with the fastball, but trying to hit it to the right side. He gets the base hit, and of course Dykstra, looking like he was going to steal, gets the pitch out wild pitch in scoring position, and they still have it going. So it is 5-3 Mets. And here is McDowell a strike. Calvin Schiraldi has faced 3 batters. He has given up a home run and 2 singles, a wild pitch, and 2 runs. And the Mets have jumped out in front. McDowell not short of signs from Harrelson. 0-1. Bunt. Foul ball. We mentioned it earlier. With these two, you never know. Counting the League Championship Series and the World Series, the Mets have come from behind 44 times. That includes tonight. 44. But on the other side of the diamond, you have a ball club that won 19 times in its last at-bat, including the playoffs, the Boston Red Sox. 0-1. And Boston must be thinking, remember the 10th inning. Saturday night, we were leading 5-3. Now it's 5-3 New York, bottom of the 7th. The bunt to Buckner. No play at second, the out at first. I thought he had a play at second. I thought he had a play. He looked and all of a sudden decided not to go to second base. In fact, Barrett had snuck in behind first base, so he was well protected. In fact, I thought there was a play on. And you can watch it now. Buckner, I think, gets it in plenty of time. He's got a play right there. Santana really still had a play after double pumping, but he took the sure out. I don't know whether the grass was wet and slick. He didn't have a grip or what, but Calvin Schiraldi has lost his grip, and he's gone. It is 5-3 5-3 Mets in the 7th. 1 out. We'll be back. Bob Stanley on the outside looking in, watching Joe Sambito walk Mookie Wilson intentionally, with Wally Backman, the switch hitter, coming up. What an awesome moment here, especially if you are a visitor, to hear 50,000 people in unison chanting and singing, "We will rock you." And they are rocking Shea. Wally Backman has not been much of a hitter right-handed. That's why he didn't start against Bruce Hurst. But he's hitting right-handed against Sambito with Hernandez on deck. Santana at second, Wilson at first, 1 out, 5-3 Mets in the 7th inning. Way outside. Great save by Rich Gedman, or you have runners at second and third.
Looked like a case of just overthrowing the ball. Gedman ready for anything, and he gets out there, makes a play much like a first baseman.
So 2 former Mets. First Calvin Schiraldi, now Joe Sambito on the griddle. Ball 2. Ball 3. Three and 0 to Backman, 1 out. Strike.
Gotta believe he's taking this one too. They want to get Hernandez up there.
In the inning, Knight homered, Dykstra single, took second on a wild pitch. Santana singled him in. McDowell sacrificed, and Wilson was walked intentionally. 3-1 to Backman. On the corner.
Taken all away, and that's the way they play, and that's the way they should, with Hernandez coming up next.
Santana and Wilson checking with Buddy Harrelson to see if they'll play run and hit.
I would hold him.
1 out, and Backman asking for time. Backman, who is not effective as a right-hand hitter. So if he strikes out, you'd run out of the inning, and you take the bat out of Hernandez's hand. So we'll see.
He's a tough man to double up.
3-2. Runners will hold. Fouled away. 5 runs, 7 hits for the Mets, including the home run by Ray Knight. 3 runs, 6 hits, and no errors for the Red Sox, who had back-to-back home runs by Evans and Gedman back in the 2nd inning. But since those back-to-back home runs in the 2nd inning, the Red Sox have had just 1 hit after the 2nd inning. They have stopped completely, thanks to Sid Fernandez.
He's the one that gave them that thing called momentum.
3-2. Runners hold. Ball 4. It was Hernandez who was 0 for 2 when he came to the plate in the 6th inning. And with the bases loaded, single to left center to drive in 2. Bob Stanley is probably getting ready to pitch to Gary Carter.
Hernandez tries to hang in against that left-hander and take him to the opposite field. He was able to do that to Hurst. And now he's facing another left-hander, Zambito.
Santana at third, Wilson at second, Bachman at first. 1 out, 2 in, 5-3 New York. Time. High fly ball to center. That's plenty deep. In fact, Wilson and Santana tag. Santana will score. Wilson to third. 6-3 New York. And John McNamara will now bring in Bob Stanley to pitch to Gary Carter. 3 runs charged to Bruce Hurst. He does not have a decision. 3 runs charged to Schiraldi. He will have a decision unless the Sox can come back. It is 6-3 New York. 2 out in the 7th, and we'll be back. John McNamara for the moment with his head down. The Mets leading the Red Sox 6-3 in the 7th inning. And Bob Stanley will go head-to-head with Gary Carter. Wally Bachman is at first. Mookie Wilson is at third. And of course it was Stanley who threw the wild pitch that turned Shea Stadium into the madhouse the other night. Carter tried to bunt for a hit, grounded out, picked up an RBI on a force play. Ball 1. Don't forget, the Red Sox will have Buckner, Rice, and Evans in the top of the 8th. 55,032 at Shea. It sounds like 100,000. Chopper to Owen. Tough play. Got him at first. Otherwise, another run. But the Mets come up with 3 more. And at the end of 7, the Mets 6 and the Red Sox 3. This telecast is presented by authority of Major League Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of Major League Baseball. What we have now is a brief show of strength to the 55,032. The policemen on horseback, along with police in the stands, by inference telling the crowd they will not allow the exhibition that occurred here when the Mets clinched the pennant.
That bullpen has been turned into a horse pen. That's where they are, and they're going to come out. What a show of strength. There they are in the bullpens.
And we can only hope that if and when this crowd celebrates, they will be dissuaded from any wild acts. Because from what they tell me, when the Mets won the pennant here, it looked more like sharks at feeding time. However, the Sox have 6 outs left with Buckner, Rice, and Evans coming up in the 8th inning. And Roger McDowell, who is in his 5th game, 5 of 7, pitching to Buckner. Right. Bill Buckner singled to right, lined out to center, and flied to right. But those at-bats were against Ron Darling. The Sox jumped out to a 3-0 lead, and there's a looping single to left. That's only the second hit for Boston since the second inning. So they just stopped completely, and the reason they stopped so completely was the performance by left-hander Sid Fernandez in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. There, as you can see, the newcomers. Backman, of course, came in, having run for Tuffle in the 6th inning. Dykstra taking over in center, and Wilson moving over to left. Fouled away. Jim Rice trying to get his ball club back in the ball game. As we mentioned earlier, Rice has only had 5 at-bats in the entire series with a runner in scoring position. Fouled away. And he led off the inning 1 out of 3 at-bats tonight, so just about half of his at-bats in the series, he's been the leadoff man. And he's going to be in trouble doing that.
And with McDowell pitching, they don't expect him to pull the ball. They're really bunching him up the middle.
On deck, representing a possible tying run, Dwight Evans. Rice lined out to right, so he can take a sinker ball that way. Single to left, and then struck out against Sid Fernandez in the 5th inning. One and 2. Two and 2. It happened in 3s tonight. The Red Sox got 3 in the 2nd inning. The Mets got 3 in the 6th. The Mets got 3 in the 7th, and Washington got 3 in the half. 2 and 2. Line drive gets on by as it explodes, and McDowell now is in trouble. A low ball pitcher against a low ball hitter who represents the tying run, Dwight Evans, and nobody out.
He got that pitch up to Rice. They had him played pretty well. The defense was there, but he hit it so hard he just got right on by him. You can see the ball is up. A sinker ball that can't pitch there, and Santana, even at that, almost came up with it, and now it is strength against strength.
In the Mets bullpen for the 2nd time, left-hander Jesse Orosco begins to loosen up. Evans homered in the 2nd, flied to center, and struck out. Buckner at 2nd, Rice at 1st, nobody out. 4-1. On deck is the left-hand hitting Rich Gedman. And Orosco in the wings. Strike. 1-1.
Davey Johnson made a pinch running move when he put Backman in. You wonder if McNamara's thinking about Buckner at 2nd base, at least pick up that run. It's going to be tough for Buckner to score on a single.
There's no speed at all out there with Buckner and Rice. And that's going to be hit into right center field. That's a base hit. And even Buckner on one leg will score easily. And let's watch Rice. They're going to wave him in. Backman has no play, and the Sox have come back with 2, and the Mets lead is now 6-5. And the tying run is at 2nd base with nobody out.
Evans really plugged the gap in right center field. Dykstra in center field, shading him a bit towards left center, a lot of room. And watch Buckner, he sees it fall, and here he comes. It rolls all the way to the fence, and Buckner able to score, as did Rice. easily.
And when you can score Buckner and Rice without a play, and Backman had no play whatsoever, you know that ball was hit deep into right center, and that's going to be all. Roger McDowell, who has appeared in 5 of the 7 games, has had to leave. Jesse Orosco will be coming in to pitch to Rich Gedman. Hold on to your hats. We'll be back. Jesse Orosco making his 4th appearance in this World Series. His earned run average is 0-0. 8-6. He was whispering before the ball game that he had a sore throat, but that his arm is fine.
We've got an identical situation here when Santana was up there with the man on second base with Dykstra after the pitch out wild pitch. He tried to hit the ground ball to the right side, ended up with a base hit. Gedman is in that same situation. He has to try to pull that ball, at least get the ground ball, to move Evans over to third base with 1 out. He's got to pick up a base with the out.
Rich Gedman homered off Darryl Strawberry's glove in the 2nd inning when Ron Darling was pitching. Grounded out in the 3rd, struck out in the 6th, you remember, on 3 pitches by Sid Fernandez. Davey Johnson wants to talk to John Kibler for the moment.
Gedman was really looking at Rene Latchman, and the Mets even halfway looking for the bunt here, maybe all the way looking. Now Kibler wants to talk to Harry Wendelstedt. No idea what's happening.
I was trying to get lucky and read some lips, but it didn't work.
If Hernandez gets that ball, he may go to third base. He's in close. Backman is back at second.
The bench was hollering at Ray Knight, and he's come up. He's about even with the bag at third now. So the tying run is at second base, nobody out, and Orosco going head-to-head with Rich Gedman. 6-5 Mets, 8th inning. Gedman all year had 1 sacrifice.
Orosco's not sure of the signs at all. And I tell you, in a spot like this, you'd almost say, hey, 1's a fastball, 2's a curve, no trick plays with Evans on at second base. And
you know what I think?
What?
I think maybe Davey Johnson wanted to find out about instructing Orosco on a bunt situation, and yet would that constitute a trip to the mound? That could be what they were talking about.
Now they're going to appeal a
runner
play
missing
here.
at third. No, says Joe Brinkman. Well, why would he talk to Kibler and Wendelstedt?
And why would they wait 30 minutes to do it?
Okay, it's 6-5 Mets, tying run at second, nobody out. Gedman followed by Henderson, and then Owen. Sweeping curveball, 0-1. Of course, if you get that slow curve, that's about the best pitch you can handle to get a bunt, but I don't think McNamara is thinking bunt.
Well, Orosco is thinking one thing. He's got to go for the strikeout.
0-1.
Another curveball.
The old axiom, and that was violated the other night. Bunt at home, you bunt to win on the road. Well, Gedman hacking away, 0-2. 4-1.
What you just said was according to the book.
Right, and the book is gone.
That's right. The other night, 1st and 2nd, Johnson decided not to bunt because Howard Johnson didn't look good on the first attempt. So that book, forget it, it's been burned.
1-2 to Rich Gedman. And he's going to hit a line drive at Backman over to Santana. Not in time. Boy, was that close. Woo. And I'll tell you one thing, Santana had a little heat to handle on the dead run. Backman fired it. Good play by Santana.
And good play by Bachman and a great play by Dwight Evans. You can see he started to lean, and Bachman, he really guns it over there. Santana very alertly there, but Evans, a good piece of base running.
So Gedman line drive at Bachman, 1 out, and of course that's a very expensive out late in the game. If he makes an out, if that ball hits the ground first and he's able to move his man to third, you'd have the tying run 90 feet away. If you're wondering about Don Baylor, he is on the steps of the Red Sox dugout. The steps. There he is. So 1 out. Evans at second. 6-5 Mets in the 8th inning. Now back. Henderson walked, was hit by a pitch, and flied to center.
And the way they're defensing Henderson, Evans at second base will be able to get a pretty good sized lead because he'll be able to watch the second baseman Bachman. You can see they're playing him to pull. Knight will guard the line. Santana near the hole, and you can see where Bachman is, so Evans can keep an eye on him and get a pretty good lead.
Single by Buckner, single by Rice, and a double by Evans to get the Sox back in the game. Mets lead 6-5. It's been Darling, Fernandez, McDowell, and Orozco. And they're up on their feet again at Shea. In the dirt, blocked nicely by Carter, and Evans has to hold at second.
Once again, Carter keeps that ball in front of him, and there's nothing Evans can do. When you see that ball in front of you, the first rule is don't go anywhere. You'll watch it here.
Henderson getting a lot of curveballs. Remember, he took Aguilera deep for the home run in the 10th inning Saturday night. 1-2. Spike Owen.
There is Orozco throwing the curveball. There was no way Henderson was going to see a fastball. The target was the right kneecap, and Carter making the save on that one that bounced there was a big play that time at bat because Orozco comes back with the strike. And now they're having a big meeting on the mound as to what they're going to do with Baylor.
Baylor has had 10 at-bats in the series. He has 2 hits. One of the 2 hits a double, and 1 run batted in. So the man who became the designated sitter in the National League now comes up trying to get the Sox even. And the key, of course, Gedman's line drive at Bachman. Tying run, Dwight Evans at second base.
Baylor pretty much the way they pitch Henderson, stay away from the fastball, show him the fastball, make him hit the breaking ball.
And Orozco's best pitch is a slider, but he started him with the slow breaking ball. Ground ball to the hole. That's where Santana was playing him. Got him. Two runs, 3 hits, and the Sox lead the tying run at second base with nobody out. 6-5 New York. Yes! It is head-shaking time for a frustrated and disappointed Don Baylor. as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-5 New York Mets. And this is the epitome, the pinnacle of all baseball, to get the final game of a 7-game World Series, a 1-run game, and the home club coming back to take the lead, and the visiting team really making a run.
And both clubs really battling. So far, the difference has been the Santana ground ball, which went for the base hit.
In the bottom of the 8th inning, 2 changes for the Red Sox. Al Nipper is on the mound, and Ed Romero is at shortstop. If you're keeping score, put Nipper in the number 8 spot, occupied by Owen. And put Romero number 9, so he's due to lead off in the 9th inning. The Sox got 3 in the 2nd inning, but maybe the turning point, certainly emotionally, was the job that Sid Fernandez did to stop the Sox, inspire the crowd, which in turn seemed to inspire the hitters. And here's Strawberry, fouled away.
And he had to do it twice, Vin. If you remember in that 5th inning when he ended by striking out Rice and Evans, the crowd was really up, and then Hurst came back and he shut the Mets down, and Fernandez came back and did it again in the 6th.
Ground foul to Bill Robinson, 0-2. It's been Bruce Hurst, Calvin Schiraldi, who is the pitcher of record, Joe Sambito, Bob Stanley, and Al Nipper. The Mets have used Ron Darling, Sid Fernandez, Roger McDowell, and Jesse Orosco.
And one of the big questions will be whatever happened to Oil Can Boy.
High drive into deep right field. Evans back at the wall. Gone. A strike to Ray Knight. Knight, who singled to center, grounded to short, and homered in the 7th inning. 7-5 New York. And if you are young Darryl Strawberry, you must sit in the dugout and think, take your Darryl, Darryl. And the place bombarded now with rolls of paper, which will do nothing but slow it up. Knight will be followed by Lenny Dykstra. Here's another look at that skyrocket, a towering drive that went out at about the 370 sign, and he knew it immediately. It'll take him about 20 minutes to go around the base path.
Oh, he really took his time. It was one of those majestic home runs, a towering drive, and he was going to enjoy it as much as anybody.
That's the look in Game 5 when the whole right field stands. Darryl, Darryl. It took him a while, but he answered them tonight. Up the middle, base hit for Ray Knight. in the Red Sox dugout as Rene Lachemann charts every pitch. To look ahead for Boston, they will have Ed Romero, Wade Boggs, and Marty Barrett. And the Mets hitters are trying to lighten the load for Jesse Orosco. Here's Dykstra. Dykstra batted for Mitchell in the 7th inning and singled to right. That's when the Mets broke the 3-3 tie. One and 0. Looked like a knuckleball. The Mets won 115 games up to here. The Sox had won 102. And the payoff is tonight with 3 outs to go. Right. 1-1. Santana on deck. Two balls, one strike. Ball 3. And Bruce Hurst, who pitched so magnificently, won twice, went 6 innings and had his team even when he came out. He is not involved with the decision, but he's the youngster who was voted the MVP, and of course he'll lose that award. Hit up the middle, but in motion is the shortstop Romero, who is breaking the cover, and by being in motion he takes a hit away from Dykstra. Knight into second base.
Looks like it's going to get through there, but Romero was breaking to cover second base and was in perfect position and really turns it into a routine play.
Rafael Santana, who had a key hit in the 7th inning when he singled inside first base to drive in Dykstra. 1 for 3.
And it was a good pitch that Schiraldi made to Santana, who was trying to hit the ground ball and be sure he picked up the base if he did make the out, but he jammed him. Santana swung and got it between Buckner and the bag and drove in a big run.
Santana struck out, grounded out, and then singled. They are going to walk him intentionally with Orosco coming up. And Orosco might very well be asked to bunt, and Mookie Wilson would then come up.
Used the bunt as a defensive play to the point to stay away from the double play, which would end the inning.
Again, while we have the moment, the Red Sox are due to send up in the 9th inning Ed Romero, Wade Boggs, and Marty Barrett. And remember, the Red Sox won 19 games, including the playoffs, in their last at-bat. So like the Mets, they show and have shown remarkable resiliency. Orosco has only had 3 at-bats all year, and he does not have a sacrifice. And a meeting at the mound.
I'd almost bet the house that he's going to bunt the ball.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about. Lay the ball in there, and maybe we can make a play at third.
So Al Nippert, he was the man who was sent to the mound in John McNamara's calculated gamble. And the Mets eventually won the game 6-2. Nipper went 6 innings and allowed 3 runs in that game. And now Nipper, in the 8th inning of the 7th game, somehow trying to restrain the Mets from opening up a 7-5 lead. He's bunting. Ball 1. What they do is, as you can see, they're really squeezing the plate. Ed Romero is breaking to cover the bag at third. That allows Boggs and Buckner to come full tilt towards the plate.
Orozco is not sure. He doesn't get up that much. Harrelson's going to make sure, but again, he's got to bunt. He has to bunt to keep the inning alive.
They're coming. Strike. And that time Romero, and they were setting it up. Romero, instead of racing for third, circled back to second. 1-1. Ray Knight at second. Rafael Santana at first. 1 out. Swinging and a ground ball into center field. In comes Knight. It is 8-5 Mets. And Joe, you just lost your house.
Davey Johnson, I tell you, is living a charmed life. He's the only guy in the ballpark that thought he should hit, and it paid off for him again.
That had to be an invitation, of course, with Boggs charging the plate. Romero breaking to third. There just wasn't anybody there capable of handling a ground ball.
And Orozco does it perfectly. He just puts the bat on the ball, and everybody's moving. The closest man was Marty Barrett. And you've got to take your hat off to Davey Johnson once again. He walks that fine line. He did it the other night by not bunting with Howard Johnson. Got away with it and gets a big base hit here.
John McNamara bringing a hook with him, I believe. He'll go to Steve Crawford. And we shall return. Darryl Strawberry jeered in Boston, frustrated here when the ball went off his glove, and a hero. And on the other side, a very bitter moment for all of the Red Sox. It is 8-5 New York.
Now let's saw a line by Louis Grizzard that really captures that picture. He said, losing hurts worse than winning feels good.
Well, boy, it sure hurts worse in the Boston dugout. Listen to this crowd and that chant. That was Al Nipper with his face buried in the cloth. The dramatic shot and reminding you of Calvin Schiraldi's sad moment in Anaheim. If you're wondering, Jesse Orozco has been in the big leagues 5.5 years. He had 10 hits. High slicing foul off third, down the line, back into the crowd, out of play. So in the inning, Strawberry homered, Knight singled, Dykstra grounding out, advancing Knight. Santana walked intentionally. Orozco singles in Knight. And Mookie Wilson against Steve Crawford.
10 hits in 5 years.
Why not let him swing?
With that kind of managerial strategy, Johnson ought to be buying lottery tickets after the game.
0-1. Hit him. Yep, he goes to first. And that will load the bases. Mookie's quick, but that one nailed him. It was Mookie, you remember, at the plate on the wild pitch. Saturday night. Here's Saturday night. The pitch that didn't hit him, thrown by Stanley, that went to the backstop. So the Mets have loaded the bases. The infield has to play up. The Mets leading 8-5. Ground ball and a broken bat. Barrett to the plate for the force to Gedman, and Santana is erased and everybody moves up 90 feet. So Backman is at first. Wilson is at second. Orozco has reached third, and Santana out.
Watch how sure Marty Barrett makes the play. He looks, finds his man, and throws a strike.
2 out. They're picking up the pieces of that shattered bat. And here's Keith Hernandez. Al Nipper remains motionless in his grief in the Boston dugout. For Hernandez, it's his third at bat with the bases loaded tonight. He singled to drive in 2 in the 6th. His scoring fly ball picked up a run in the 7th. And here he is with a full plate in the 8th. 1 ball and no strikes. 8-5 New York, bottom of the 8th. Strike. Joe Brinkman, the third base umpire, but John Kibler had already called it a strike anyway. 1-1. One and one. 2-1. Steve Crawford, the 6th Boston pitcher. Schiraldi is still the pitcher of record. And there's one hit and short hop by Barrett. Keeps it in front of him and throws to Buckner. And the inning is over, but the Mets get 2 more. And at the end of 8, as the champagne gets colder, the Mets 8, Red Sox 5, and they're 3 outs from pulling the cord. The culmination of the impossible dream in 1969, a fly ball to left field for the last out, and the Mets are the world's champions. What made it interesting, the batter who made that last out is right there. The manager of the Mets, Davey Johnson. He was also the last player to get a base hit off Sandy Koufax in the 1966 World Series. But now let's see if the Sox have anything left. They rallied gamely in the 8th when they were down by 3. They had 2 singles and a double to get within 1, and they left the tying run at second. Now in the 9th, Ed Romero, Wade Boggs, and Marty Barrett against Jesse Orozco. The way the pattern of the game has developed, truly the guys who got the Mets here are out there at every position. With Hernandez and Backman and Santana and Knight and Wilson and Dykstra and Strawberry and Carter. 1-1. Popped it up. It will be home. Carter or Hernandez. Hernandez. Tonight's game is brought to you by AT&T, the right choice. By the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. By Kentucky Fried Chicken. We do chicken right. And by Miller Genuine Draft. Cold filtered for real draft smoothness. It's beer at its best. And the Sox, who are a strike from elimination in Southern California, who looked like they had a lock at Game 6, are now down to their last 2 outs. And here's Wade Boggs, 1 for 3. When this game ends, we will visit both clubhouses, and we will have tributes to each team. As well we should, as each team merits a tribute. And we had said, as we look at Dave Henderson and a somewhat heartbroken Red Sox bench, that it was the best of times and the worst of times. That was the tale of 2 cities, and that's the way the series would end. Fouled away. 1-2. Ron Darling with his arm draped over Sid Fernandez, and Fernandez has to be the unsung hero.
No question about it. He's the one that gave him the momentum.
1-2 to Wade Boggs. Check swing foul into the stands. And Jim Rice, who was frustrated in '75 because he couldn't play. 2 for 4 tonight. One of his 2 outs, a line drive out to right. And he is frustrated tonight. Curveball, big chopper to Backman. Hurry to Hernandez. The executive producer of NBC Sports, Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer for NBC Baseball and tonight's director, Harry Coyle. The telecast of tonight's World Series, produced by George Finkel. Pre-game produced by Les Dennis. Pre-game directed by Andy Rosenberg. Technical directors Lenny Stucker, Steven Cimino, and Ken Harvey. And there is a smoke bomb on the field and timeout. Mets, 2 out, bases empty in the 9th inning. And this crowd of 55,032 bursting their buttons to make some noise, but hopefully that will be all. Standing in the way is Marty Barrett. And Mookie Wilson out in the midst of all that smoke. So timeout. And Oil Can Boyd, who was supposed to pitch game 7, and then the rains came. And Wade Boggs, the major league's leading hitter, can just sit and think of what might have been. We're still not really ready, and there is no breeze to help, but it is dissipating. Bill Buckner is on deck, but it will be up to Marty Barrett to keep the Sox very faint hopes alive. Barrett, 2 fly balls to right, a bunt single and grounded out. Strike. And there is His Honor the Mayor, standing in the back of that line of Mets. 1 ball, 1 strike. They have planned a ticker tape parade for the Mets tomorrow if they win tonight. They're going to check it first. No swing, says Jim Evans. One ball, now 2, and 1 strike. Half swing. That's going to cost a strike. And the Sox are down to their last strike. And this crowd is really ready to reach the heavens now. Fouled away.
This crowd will tell us what's happening.
Friends, tonight's NBC Miller Lite Player of the Game, we feel, is left-hander Sid Fernandez. Miller Lite is happy to present a check for $1,000 in the name of Sid Fernandez to the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. 2 1/3 hitless innings with 4 strikeouts.